it is Mimi from Harvey Mountain Alchemy. I wanted to do a mid-month check-in, like a tarot reading to check in, see how the month is going, see maybe what we have achieved, what we still need to achieve. So far, right now, we have a lot of things going on in the sign of Virgo. So it's very detail-oriented, it's assessment, it's analytical. We're kind of looking at everything that we've collected, right? All the information or all the projects we've collected, especially with all that Leo season. And that's my cat. And we're dealing with all of the information that we have and trying to, hash out the details and get all of the information collected in a way that makes sense for ourselves and for others. And so in the beginning of the month, about a week ago now, we had the Leo new moon, which was really great for beginning a cycle of being honest with what your heart truly desires. And, stepping into your own and accepting your own royalty, whatever that means to you, accepting your royalty in your circumstances and in your environment. Really listening to your heart and also being really in touch with your inner child was pretty prominent. What does your inner child want you to say? Or what does your inner child want to say to you? So I'm going to show you these 3 piles. You can pick your pile and we'll get started on the readings. If you are interested in booking a reading, you can do that on my website at harveymountainalchemy.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, mimis.me, or at harveymountain.alchemy. And I also make custom crystal candles that are charged with healing intention and loving energy. So you can always reach out to me for those as well. And last, I would really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe if you're watching this, if you like these readings, if you think that I'm really connected with what your soul's path is and we seem to be pretty aligned with each other. I would love it if you could press that subscribe button and leave some comments so that I can get to know you a little bit. So let's get started with the readings. Thanks. Okay, so here we have your 3 piles. Pile number 1, we have these little tea light candles I made for the Leo season. They have orange calcite, smoky quartz, and tiger's eye. For pile 2, we have this mugwort bundle. And for pile 3, we have this blue kyanite. All right, so pile number 1, we've got your little tea light candles here. And so like I said, they have orange calcite, smoky quartz, and tiger's eye. And I chose these 3 crystals because I think there's a real sense of optimism and joy. Obviously, Leo rules joy and expression of self. And so I wanted to honor that part of Leo while also giving it that smoky quartz energy of maybe grounding yourself into reality a little bit, right? Leo can tend to dramatize the situation and make things much larger than maybe they need to be in positive circumstances and also negative ones. So let's get started with your reading. I want to look at sort of how the month is going, what more we need to be doing. So I'm going to start with the Muse here. How's the month going? Okay, we've got the Emperor to start, and the Hierophant, and the Chariot. Wow. Okay, so we've got 3 majors here, and these are big majors. So we've got the Emperor, which rules authority, which rules the rules, and rules being authoritative, being the boss, channeling that inner, almost using the inner restlessness that you may have and using that energy and creating something productive out of it, creating something useful, something that you're proud of. And then we've got the Hierophant, which is the ever-going teacher or ever-going student, right? It's one and the same. If you're teaching, you're learning. If you're learning, you're teaching as well. So almost like we're learning how to channel this really productive energy within ourselves. And I feel this at the root, I feel this this really go get it attitude that this month may be brought for you. And then we've got the Chariot, which is another action-oriented card. There's a lot of lessons here about how to channel that energy and how to, instead of sitting in your anxiety and sitting in maybe the restlessness that you feel on the inside, how to channel it so that it comes out and you can create something beautiful out of it. That's what this month so far has been bringing up for you, has been trying to teach you or show you the signs of. And I thought this mid-month check-in might be good because sometimes we may not notice these signs and they'll just have gone, you know, the lessons will have gone unlearned or not even recognized as lessons. So this might be a good time to be like, oh, these are the signs that I'm being given right now, is how to open my mind up to how I can use this anxious energy and create something really beautiful and spiritually aligned with who I am on the outside as well. There's a lot of charging forward energy. The Emperor already, he's ruled by Aries, and she's ruled by Aries in this deck. And so it's this action forward, action oriented. And then we've got the Chariot. We have all of these horses at the bottom of the card here. Again, just charging forward, and she's leading them. Her solar plexus, her place of power, is leading this action, this go-get-'em attitude. So these are the lessons that you may be missing out on so far this month. What needs to be paid attention to. Okay, so let's look at maybe how you are taking in this energy. The Five of Wands, right? So I really feel this like restlessness within. This Five of Wands energy is, you know, usually it's a collaboration or a confrontation or, you know, cooperation card, either side of it, if they are or they aren't cooperating with each other. Could be a team building. But I feel like there are no people in this specific Five of Wands, and I feel like all of these fires are within you. And there's maybe you feel this action oriented, you feel this energy, this excitement, this potential of newness that's coming. But instead of being able to see, you know, pragmatically where it is, we just feel this inner fire. And that's Leo season, right? We're all being affected by this fieriness. So the way that you're receiving this energy is much more this Five of Wands. So I do think that there's a need to like harness the anxiety. And I don't mean just mental health wise. I mean just your physical anxiety, the physical restlessness. So maybe you're fidgeting a lot, or your mind is spinning a lot, or, you know, your stomach's upset. Notice where in your body feels a little hyperactive. And that might tell you, you know, we can look at, okay, if it's the stomach ruled by Virgo, what is it that I need to organize, right? What is a little disorganized in my world right now? And how can I channel this restless energy to organize it all? You know, create a list, right? Virgos love a list, in my experience. So it's receiving all of this great major energy, right? These are all huge cards to be like big lessons for you to learn so far. Oh, hello. These are all really great messages for you to be receiving. But because you may feel like you're ill-equipped, or maybe you don't feel like you deserve to be going through such a grandiose time, right? Or perhaps you're not comfortable with the Leo energy of dramatizing everything, making something larger, and you fear that. You know, you contain it all within. You contain that fire within you, and that's, you know, your body is not meant to hold all of that fire in. We got to release it. So let's look at what the rest of this month has to show us in the way of releasing that fire, releasing that restlessness. Where can we release it? Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, we're holding on to it so tightly. I almost feel like this is something that is ingrained in you. Like you have always held this restlessness in within you. But that doesn't help us. How do we release it? The Five of Pentacles. So this Five of Pentacles is almost like if I release that energy within me, I am losing something. I'm losing something valuable. I'm losing my power over it. I'm losing my control, because it does feel like, you know, sometimes you can't control fire if you haven't learned how to tame it, or to harness it, or focus it, or channel it the right way. So it's almost like a feeling of losing my own sense of control. This does feel like there's some Virgo energy, like I said earlier, about the that I would like to contain it all. I'd like to hold it all together. That's quite Capricorn as well. And this is a Pentacles card, so it's an Earth card. So changing the way that you look at this release. Instead of seeing it as oh, I guess I'm just going to throw all of my things everywhere, all of my valuables, right? Because this fire within you is something that's of value, your inspiration that you get to show. It's an expression of your joy, of your beauty, of your value in general. So yeah, there's a feeling of, if I release it, if I show it, if I create something with it, it's outside of me, and then I no longer have power or control over it. So we need to let go of that thought as well, that if I let go of this restlessness, then it's gone, and then I'll never get it again. I'll never get my inspiration again. That's not the case. As soon as you start letting it out, it just continues flowing. So what is the best way? So we got the King of Pentacles. I love this King of Pentacles because it is not about him. It's about his values. It's about his valuables. It's about what he has to offer to his kingdom, and that it's ever flowing, right? He's got the lemniscate at the top, which is that infinity symbol. So it's about this always flowing river of value that you have. And again, it's that sense of, it's not going to end as soon as you release this. As soon, like, I'm thinking if you were going to drop an album, or you're going to drop like a line of clothing or something, that if I drop this line of clothing, then that's it. That's all my work that I put into it. And no, you have more coming, but you're holding on to this project for so long, and you need to let it go. You need to drop it. You need to share it with the world so that more inspiration can flow. And then you're not focusing so hard on this project right now. Hello, Leo. So that's what we need to do for the rest of this month, is see this fire for what it really is. A King of Pentacles, he sees things for what it really is. This is a Taurus card. So seeing things for their value, seeing things for how much work you put into them, and how much they deserve, how much that work deserves to be seen. And that work doesn't have to be, if you're not dropping something, if you're not dropping a line or an album or whatever, the work that you're doing within yourself needs to be seen. This self-exploration, right? This Chariot card is about your spiritual journey, or your awakening with your true self and your true path. And then we've got the Emperor, which is Aries, that's I am, and then the Hierophant, we're always learning. So you don't have to be a master of something to release this energy. You can always be learning. And that humbles you, really, you know? And sometimes a Leo needs to be humbled. So we are moving into Virgo season. We already have a lot of planets in Virgo. So the Leo energy is a lot less so. But you know, that sun is still in Leo. That life force, what's driving us right now, is still in Leo. So using that passionate, inspired energy to then be able to hone in on all of the details. Okay, so I'm going to roll some Astro Dice. All right, we've got the North Node in Aries in the 12th house. So I feel really, I'm feeling that so strongly, that you have to sit in your own power, in your own individuality. You have to sit with this fire and not squelch it. That word is coming up, squelch, which I'm not sure is really a word, but we have to tarnish the idea of, oh, my fire is bad, or, you know, or just the essence of I am bad, right? Let go of that. You gotta stop sacrificing yourself for the sake of everybody else to be able to express themselves. It's time for you to also express yourself, and do so freely and do so confidently. These are all cards that need to be shown to the world, that need to open people's minds to other possibilities. So this Four of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles are both very holding on to what I know, holding on to my security, my safety, what I've always done, in fear of the change that would ensue if I decided to be truly me and comfortable with myself. So we need to, instead of the Four and Five of Pentacles, we need to do the King of Pentacles. So we need to be this king of not being so worried about how others see me, right? I'm backlit with all of the beauty that I hold, that is my kingdom. So not being worried about how I'm being portrayed, instead looking at your creation, your inspiration, and how that is creating positive influences in your life. And I bet you, if you're having stomach aches or cramps or something, you know, I just feel in the body like there's a really there's a physical proof that that something is amiss, some sort of bellyache or heartburn, or, you know, just in this region. So heart, belly region. So I hope that was helpful for you, pile one. Have a great rest of your month, and really try and be open to the signs. This opening your mind and being, you know, truly you. Being able to be flamboyantly you too, unapologetically you. I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. I have your mugwort here. This is a mugwort bundle that I made. I love using mugwort. I have a big field of it in my yard, in my garden. And it is fantastic for your dreams, basically. So what I use it is I drink it right before bed. I should be drinking it more because I've been struggling to sleep with this new moon in the past week. It got me so drained, and so I needed this to help me sleep a little bit more. It's great with vivid dreams, lucid dreaming, and it aids in you know, increasing your psychic abilities. So opening up the third eye and communicating with your guides or the divine or whatever your beliefs are. So we have this mugwort, and I want to do a little check-in to see how the last 2 weeks have been in August, what we've maybe what we've missed, what we still have time to catch up with or for in the next 2 weeks of the month. So I'm going to start off with the Sasuraibito deck. Okay, what is August? Here we go. All right, we've got the Page of Swords to start. The Three of Swords. Oh, hold on. There it is. And the Emperor. Last pile got the Emperor too. Okay, so the Page of Swords and the Three of Swords was definitely telling me that something was squashed, like right in the beginning. It was nipped in the bud. It almost felt like could have been a heartbreak, right? This Three of Swords is called a heartbreak card. It doesn't always relate to romance. And then we've got this Page of Swords. So I almost feel like there was something new that we were maybe excited about. We were thinking about it. We were feeling like it was going to evolve. And then it got squashed. And so we almost felt like we had some sort of power over the situation, and then the power was taken away from us, and the situation was taken away from us. And here we are left, a boss with no employees, right? This Emperor. He feels like such an old-timey boss. He's no longer, you know, he's not trendy, he's not current, he's not modern. He's stuck in the old ways. Of what the rules always were, of how to be the boss, and that is no longer how to be the boss anymore. So I almost feel like something was taken away from you this month, and it could have been quite painful, right? That Three of Swords it could have been soul-crushing, could have been heartbreaking, really difficult. I understand that. And there is absolutely validity in sitting in the grief, sitting in the pain, sitting in sorrow or loss, allowing the emotions that do come up to come up. But at a point, there needs to be a switch in the focus, and realizing that maybe this was taken away because there are other opportunities that need to be taken forward. Obviously, in the ways of grieving a lost person that you love, this all can happen on your timeline. Grief is very complicated and complex per person, so if you are grieving right now, I in no way want to rush you through the process. Allow what comes up to come up. But in other situations, I almost feel like if you were starting about writing a book or anything that's swords related, right? So writing, communication, speaking up, allowing your voice to come through a little bit. I almost feel like there was a sense of being able to vocalize yourself, being able to stand up and speak up in a way, or show what your words have to say, But I feel like there was an element of like this throat chakra was finally getting cleared up, and I was able to speak up for myself, and then suddenly it got squashed. That's the word that's really coming, is squashed. And I think the lessons in that in the last 2 weeks were that the way that you were beginning this project wasn't the way that the project is going to be the most beneficial way for you. I think there's a much better approach that needs to be taken for whatever project you were beginning in August. I would say wait until the sun goes into Virgo, because right now we've got the sun in Virgo, which is excited and passionate, dynamic, free-flowing, expressionistic, and then a lot of other things are in Virgo. We have a lot of other personal planets in Virgo. So it's that assessment, the analyzing, the logical, collection of data has been done, and now we're reviewing it all. So I would wait until the sun goes into Virgo as well, so that then you have this sun connection with all of the other personal planets, right? The moon, or not moon, but Mars, Venus, Mercury. Why am I forgetting the planets all of a sudden? So allowing the sun to go into Virgo, and then once it does, about the 22nd, I'm pretty sure it goes into Virgo, possibly the 23rd of August, then that's when you can really see clearly what the steps are that need to be taken with this project that you tried before. So that's what the lessons have been so far in August. How you've been receiving these lessons. There it is. The Six of Voices. I think there's an element of taking it pretty personally. I think you see it as a reflection of the project itself. And I think you did take it quite hard. That this project was my baby, you know, and it got taken away from me. And so it must mean that the project wasn't meant to be. But the actual lesson was that the way in which you were moving forward was not meant to be that way. So how we can move forward. Let's see how we can move forward in, you know, attaining what we want to attain, but through these lessons. So we've got the Knight of Inspiration. We've got the Ace of Voices. So beginning again is definitely important. And the Fool. So again, beginning again. I picked those cards out of here because they were facing up. So they wanted to be seen. So I think maybe you were being a little methodical in your approach the first time around. And so this second time around, even though it is going to be all that Virgo methodical energy, so all of that methodical will still be there, you are bringing the inspiration to it. This Knight of Inspiration is the Knight of Wands. It's charging forward. I think there will be a large moment of inspiration that will hit you, and it might be while you're laying in bed, so keep a notepad by your bed. I heard that pretty strongly just then, so even if it's on your phone, you know, have your notes app ready. And then we've got the Ace of Voices and the Fool. I feel like this project is going to become something bigger than you originally anticipated. And in order to begin this, you have to honor its size and its value. So yes, it stopped you in your tracks before, but it's only because it's going to come back and come back stronger. And that loss that you felt, it will be there. It can be there. It can remain there. But know that it doesn't take away from the joy that you get to have through achieving it in the better way in the future. There were too many complicated things at play with the first time. So the second round, I mean, you have a week now, right? Today's the 15th, so on to the 23rd when sun is like in Virgo. That's when we can really begin, because we'll have all of this methodical, all of this, and the moon is in Pisces too, so creative juices are flowing. So yes, we'll be beginning again. It'll be much clearer this time around, right? This Ace of Swords, it's coming from a very clear spot. It's focused. So channeling your thoughts instead of this Page of Swords way, which is a little naively or inexperienced. So, okay, I have these words to say, I'm just going to put them on a paper. This Ace of Voices has mental clarity. It knows what it wants to say. It knows the ending sentence, essentially, right? If you're writing an outline, you always have the intro, the body, and the conclusion. So this way of doing it, you have the conclusion before you write, so that you know what your end goal is. And then we've got the Fool. So this trusting that, you know, a week off of this project isn't the end of the world. And okay, if you don't have a project going on, there's mental energy here somewhere. And maybe where you were placing your mental energy for the first couple of weeks of this month, the first couple of weeks of this month, that's not where your energy needed to be. That's not where your thoughts needed to be, and where you needed to be placing your mental energy or your communications. So it stopped you in your tracks. It took the thing away from you so that you could no longer communicate with whatever the, whatever your circumstances are. And so coming forward, you get to use your mental energy in something that you actually love, that you're inspired by, that you feel is philosophically aligned with you. Knight of Swords, sorry, not philosophically. This is Knight of Wands. Yeah, so Sagittarian. Philosophically aligned with you. So I'm going to roll some Astro Dice, see what comes up for you. Sun in Pisces in the 7th house. Okay, so that Pisces energy is coming up again. So this, yeah, it seems to be almost like it could be in relationships, right? The 3 of Swords is a heartbreak card. So if this came up in a relationship where, you know, you had started seeing somebody and it felt like it was going to be going somewhere, and suddenly that got taken away from you, that's painful. And it feels like, what am I even doing? What am I doing wrong? Right? This Emperor, you have to assess what rules you're following that may not even be, what is the word? Might not be relevant anymore. So Sun in Pisces in the 7th wants to have a soul connection with other people in relationships. And so it almost feels like maybe you did put your soul into a relationship and this relationship got taken from you and suddenly you feel a little crushed in the soul. So knowing that something better is coming your way, and that it's not personal to you. It just wasn't right the first time. All right, pile 2. I hope that was helpful for you. I think sleeping is important here. Pisces came up earlier. We got Pisces in the Astro Dice, and you picked Mugwort. So I think the work that gets done in your body and in your mind, right? Because that's when your mind is almost its most active unconsciously, is when you're asleep, you're dreaming. So try and get some Mugwort tea if you can. I have a Sweet Dreams tea that I love. It's got chamomile and Mugwort, because Mugwort can be quite strong, so it's nice to balance it out with chamomile. And you can get that on my website if you want. But either way, you don't have to buy it from me. Just, I would say, place value in your sleep schedule. Try and get your schedule regulated. All right, I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Hello, pile 3. I've got your blue kyanite here. I love this stone. So blue kyanite, well, all crystals have a very unique relationship with you, so it depends on how you vibe with the crystals. Blue kyanite for me, I always see as, obviously it's blue, so it's throat chakra related. It's about trusting your voice, speaking up for yourself, but it's got this fragility in it. And I feel like there's beauty in that, in maybe you don't speak up very often, but it's still healthy for you. You still speak up a healthy amount, and when you do speak up, that is it's valued, right? It's honored. It's given the value that it deserves. So I've got this blue kyanite, and we are going to see for this mid-month check-in. I want to see what's been going on the last 2 weeks, maybe what signs we've missed, what lessons we haven't quite embodied or learned. So let's see, what is this month so far trying to show me? Okay, we got the 6 of Swords. We got the Page of Pentacles. Oop. And we've got the Chariot. So it definitely feels like we're on some sort of venture and we feel a little lost. So the 6 of Swords here, he is canoeing through this really foggy river. I feel like maybe he's a little lost. He's placing markers in the river so that if he needs to find his way back, he can. There's a snake there trying to intuitively guide him. And then we've got this Page of Pentacles, which is looking for her way. She's searching for the best way for her. Maybe she lost track of the path that she was on. The clouds seem to be coming in. The sun is possibly setting, so there's a sense of urgency, but she also, again, we have these intuitive guides, all these little foxes or hyenas maybe are guiding her. So in both of these there are very intuitive guides or markers that you're placing, thinking ahead. And then we've got the Chariot. So the Chariot is intuitively guided. The Chariot, you are not really holding the reins. He seems like he's holding the reins, but he's got his eyes closed, so he's not really directing the horses to take him anywhere. So that, yeah, there's a real sense of, okay, I know something's happening right now. I know I'm moving forward in some way in this personal journey of mine. I just don't know where I am right now. And that's what this month has given you so far. And I just want to validate that experience. That can be very stressful, but it can also be really freeing to know that maybe you're not supposed to know where you are in your journey. And maybe being a little lost is what is going to guide you towards, you know, an amazing experience that you needed in order to open your mind, expand your horizons a little bit, and see like new. I'm feeling like they never would have seen the views that they got to see if they didn't go through this little lost phase first. So how have we been receiving this these lessons? All right, we've got the Queen and King of Cups. I'll show you these guys. So this is our Queen here, and this is our King. So we've been receiving it, I'd say, openly. Okay, I think there's an element of accepting that we're a little lost, and sure, the sun is setting, but we'll find our way. You know, it's either that or you're really sitting in the emotions of it all and not seeing the beauty of what being lost can actually give you. So know that you are going on this very intuitive journey. I feel like there may be a spiritual awakening that's happening for you. You're finally finding your own personal power, your path. And sure, you may feel lost, but no matter what, you are being guided, right? That snake is guiding, the foxes and hyenas are guiding, and the cups are intuitive. The cups rule intuition. They rule the emotional side, that feminine receptivity, that, you know, that advice that we don't realize we are following, that we gave ourselves. So that is how we're receiving it. I think it could be one of two ways. It could be either we're sitting in the emotions of it all and we're kind of having a pity party for for being lost, and oh my God, how am I ever going to find my way home? I'm so lost right now. Or we could understand, okay, I may be lost right now, but I know that I'm being guided. I know that I can follow my intuition and it'll take me to the place that I need to be. Because that's the Chariot energy. The Chariot never takes you somewhere that you don't need to be. It always takes you somewhere that teaches you a very valuable lesson that is aligned with the path that you have taken for this lifetime. And sure, it might not be fun every time, but it's something that needed to be learned. It needed to be seen as for you to be able to evolve. So, but I do feel like in this case, it's taking you somewhere positive. I do think even though maybe you're lost and you have no idea where you are or what's going on or what your next step is, I feel that pretty strongly, that that where you're going to end up is somewhere that you will enjoy, and it will be related to almost like what your dreams have been. Okay, so let's see, how can we trust this intuition? We got the Fool, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hermit. Wow. Those are all, like the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune are very trust-oriented cards. The Fool trusts the universe. Normally the Fool is stepping off of a ledge and knows that the cliff will continue under his feet no matter where he goes. And the Wheel of Fortune is trusting the seasons, trusting that every stage passes and every new stage comes in at the right time. It's also, with this one, it's trusting what tarot has to say to you. It's trusting what your heart has to say to you, right? Letting your heart guide you as a compass. So letting your intuition guide you. And then we've got the Hermit, which is trusting in yourself, which is self-reflection and understanding that you guide yourself. Literally, the Hermit in traditional imagery is, he's placed a star, which was within his own heart. He's placed a star, which is all lit up in his lantern, and he's guiding himself with the energy of his heart. So what your heart's true desire is what is guiding you here. That is incredibly beautiful. There are so many messages here of just keep following what your intuition says and what your heart says. It may feel against the norm, right? It may feel like it's breaking all convention or breaking all of the rules that you were taught as a child of what you're supposed to do. And I feel like this isn't work. I feel like maybe you are needing to take a pause because you found yourself in a spiritual way. And so work is not the main focus anymore. There's some sort of spiritual alignment that's happening here. And so, yeah, you may have to say, okay, I need time off because I'm finding myself, and it's scary, it's messy, I have to see all of this through. But know that what your heart says is where you need to go. That's what you need to follow. There's so much power in what your heart is trying to tell you, and it's trying to lead you somewhere very, very powerful. So let's see what the Astro Dice have to say. We've got South Node in Scorpio in the 9th house. Wow, okay. So yeah, we could get very comfortable in deep, powerful conversations with others, philosophical conversations about what spirituality means to me, and maybe even communication. I feel like communication with ancestors is really important here. Being able to open up your mind and speak freely with the people from your past lives. Doesn't have to be ancestors, but your spirit guides, and whatever other entities that are trying to come through to you. I feel like this is a great placement for trying to, if you already have a spiritual practice, to maybe get into mediumship a little bit. I feel like that's pretty prominent. Yeah, I feel like there's a need to open the mind, opening the third eye even, opening the crown chakra, and allowing in the past, maybe doing a past life regression session with somebody in your area. So, wow, yeah, this seems very much a spiritual experience. And if you don't find that you're very, if this isn't applying to you very much, if you don't feel like you're really going through a big spiritual journey, know that in whatever circumstance that you may be feeling a little lost, or like you don't know what your next step is, just know that the next step is always in front. Always keep walking forward. That is your next step, because whatever direction your heart is facing, so keep going forward. So whatever direction your heart is facing is the right place that you need to go. Following your heart's compass is really key here. Maybe it's not a spiritual experience for you. It doesn't have to be, but it is led by emotion and led through your heart's desire and your passions. So I hope that was helpful. I really hope that, if you feel like this has been a block for you in the last 2 weeks, then maybe this will clear that block a little bit, and the next 2 weeks will be a little bit more open. I will see you in a couple weeks' time, and bye.